The rain-soaked mistake. The rain came down in steady sheets that Tuesday evening, turning the Chicago streets into rivers of reflected neon light. Maya Chen stood on the corner of 5th and Madison, clutching her daughter's worn teddy bear against her chest. Her feet ached in her sensible flats, and her coat, thin from too many winters, did little against the November chill. She checked her phone again. The Uber app showed a black sedan 3 minutes away. Relief washed over her. She was already 20 minutes late picking up Sophie from her neighbor's apartment, and Mrs. Patterson charged $5 for every 15 minutes past 6 o'clock. $5 Maya couldn't afford to spare. The bear in her arm still smelled faintly of Sophie's strawberry shampoo. Her daughter had left it at Little Sprouts daycare that morning, and Maya had detoured across town during her lunch break to retrieve it. Sophie couldn't sleep without Mr. Buttons. She never could. Not since her father had walked out 2 years ago, leaving nothing but unpaid bills and broken promises. Maya watched the drops slide down the bear's fuzzy nose. Tomorrow, she would start her new job as an administrative assistant at Sterling Heights Industries. It was the break she'd been praying for. Better pay, health insurance, and maybe, just maybe, enough stability to move Sophie out of their cramped studio apartment. A sleek black car slowed to a stop in front of her, its tires hissing against the wet pavement. Maya didn't hesitate. She pulled open the back door and slid inside, grateful for the warmth. "Thank God you're here," she breathed, settling into the leather seat. "I'm so sorry I'm running late. Can we please hurry to 2847 Maple Grove? I need to pick up my daughter and I think there's been a mistake," a calm, deep voice said from the driver's seat. Maya looked up, really looked for the first time. The man behind the wheel wasn't wearing the casual clothes of a rideshare driver. He wore an expensive charcoal suit, crisp and perfectly tailored. His dark hair was slightly damp from the rain, and his eyes, warm brown and surprisingly kind, met hers in the rearview mirror. Heat flooded Maya's cheeks. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought you were—" The app said. She fumbled for the door handle, mortified. "It's pouring," the man said simply. "And you need to get to Maple Grove." He didn't phrase it as a question. "I can't. This is so embarrassing." "You're clearly not—" "My name is James," he said, already pulling into traffic. "And I was just leaving the office anyway. Maple Grove isn't far." Maya sat frozen, torn between gratitude and humiliation. The car smelled like leather and expensive cologne. Nothing like the usual rideshare vehicles with their air fresheners and cracked upholstery. Through the rain-streaked windows, the city lights blurred into watercolor streaks of gold and red. "I'll pay you," Maya said quickly. "Whatever the Uber would have cost, That's not necessary." James's voice was gentle but firm. His hands on the steering wheel were steady, confident. "Tell me about your daughter." The question surprised her. Most strangers didn't ask, didn't care. But something in James's tone felt genuine, and Maya found herself answering. "Sophie. She's 5. She loves dinosaurs and drawing and asking questions about everything." Maya looked down at the teddy bear in her lap. "She forgot this today. Can't sleep without it, Mr. Buttons?" James asked, glancing at the bear in the mirror. "How did you—" Maya started. "He looks like a Mr. Buttons," James said, and she could hear the smile in his voice. "I had a bear like that when I was young. Called him Captain Fuzz." Despite everything, the embarrassment, the stress, the exhaustion that had become her constant companion, Maya smiled. "Captain Fuzz? I was very serious about nautical themes at age 6, James said solemnly, and Maya laughed, the sound surprising even herself. They drove in comfortable silence for a moment. Maya watched the city pass by, the familiar streets looking somehow different from inside this quiet, warm car. She thought about tomorrow, about her first day at the new job. She'd pressed her best blouse that morning, laid out Sophie's clothes for school. Everything had to be perfect. "Big day tomorrow?" James asked as if reading her thoughts. Maya hesitated. "New job. First real office position I've had in a while. I'm terrified I'll mess it up." "I doubt that," James said. "Anyone who crosses the city in the rain to retrieve a teddy bear for her daughter, that's someone who cares about getting things right." The words settled over Maya like a warm blanket. When was the last time someone had said something kind to her? Really kind, not just polite. Here we are, James announced, pulling up in front of Mrs. Patterson's building. The rain had softened to a drizzle, and the streetlights cast everything in amber. Maya reached for her purse. Please, let me give you something for gas, at least. Buy your daughter a book about dinosaurs instead, James said, turning to face her fully for the first time. His smile was warm, genuine. And good luck tomorrow, Maya. You're going to do great. She blinked. I never told you my name. James's eyes flickered with something amusement. Understanding. But he just said, have a good evening. Maya climbed out, Mr. Buttons tucked safely under her arm, and watched the black car disappear into the evening mist. She stood there for a long moment, letting the last drops of rain kiss her cheeks, feeling strangely lighter than she had in months. The next morning, Maya arrived at Sterling Heights Industries 30 minutes early. The building was all glass and steel, soaring toward the sky like something from a dream. She smoothed her blouse, checked her reflection in the lobby windows, and reminded herself to breathe. The elevator climbed to the 15th floor. The receptionist, a friendly woman named Angela, greeted her warmly and walked her through the gleaming hallways. You'll be supporting Mr. Sterling directly, Angela explained. He's fairly new to the CEO position himself, but everyone says he's wonderful. Very different from his predecessor. They stopped in front of a large corner office. Through the glass walls, Maya could see a figure standing by the window, looking out at the city. Angela knocked lightly, and the figure turned. Maya's breath caught. Maya, James said, walking toward them with that same warm smile from last night. Welcome to Sterling Heights. The world tilted slightly. The expensive suit, the black car, the kindness that had seemed almost too generous for a stranger giving someone a ride. Maya couldn't finish the sentence. James Sterling, he said, extending his hand. His eyes held that same gentle understanding. And I believe we've already met. You knew, Maya whispered. Last night, you knew who I was. I saw your name on the new hire list yesterday morning, James admitted. When you got into my car, I recognized you from your employee photo. I wanted to tell you, but... He paused, choosing his words carefully. You were stressed, worried. I thought maybe you just needed one less thing to worry about before your first day. Angela quietly excused herself. Sensing this was a conversation that needed privacy, Maya stood there, Mr. Buttons's plush paw still slightly visible from her bag, where Sophie had insisted she bring him for good luck. She thought about last night, about how James had asked about Sophie, had made her laugh, had treated her like a person instead of a problem. I don't understand, Maya said softly. Why would you do that? James was quiet for a moment, and when he spoke, his voice carried the weight of truth. I grew up in a studio apartment not far from where you live now. My mother worked 3 jobs. Some nights she'd come home so tired she'd fall asleep in her uniform. He met Maya's eyes. Remember what it's like to need kindness more than you need explanations. Something in Maya's chest loosened. Not all the fear, not all the worry, those would take time, but enough that she could breathe a little easier. So, James said, his tone shifting to something more professional but no less kind. Shall we talk about what you'll be doing here? I should warn you, I'm fairly demanding about organization, but I'm told I'm not entirely horrible to work for. Maya felt a smile tugging at her lips. Do all your assistants get personal chauffeur service? Only the ones brave enough to jump into a stranger's car in the pouring rain, James replied. And this time they both laughed, as Maya followed James into his office, ready to begin this new chapter. She thought about Sophie and Mr. Buttons, about rain-soaked streets and unexpected kindness. She thought about how sometimes the universe sent you exactly what you needed, even when you didn't know to ask for it. Outside, the morning sun broke through Chicago's clouds, painting everything gold, and Maya Chen, single mother and fighter, allowed herself something she hadn't felt in a very long time: hope.